So let's talk anxiety and depression. This is something that I feel like a lot of people are dealing with and might not even know that they're dealing with. Is that something that might ever be impossible to overcome? Because I feel like that's what a lot of people might assume. If they either don't know they have it, or if they have it, they're like, I don't know how to get out of this. This feels insurmountable.
There are millions and millions of people with anxiety and depression, whether it's low mood or it's profoundly low mood or it's mild anxiety or panic, right? It's a spectrum. And it afflicts so many people. You'd never know it unless you're sitting in my seat and have talked to a CEO who calls me in tears saying, I can't pick out my suit this morning. I'm that anxious. I mean, who would have thought, right? Or someone who literally is fighting against deep sadness, right? Most of the day doing his or her job. It's incredible the number of people who are so afflicted with this, and it's like an epidemic. It really is. It's an epidemic. What people should know is you don't have to sit with it. It's reversible. I tell people that all the time. I say, listen, just so you know, there aren't failures in this exchange. There aren't times when it doesn't work. Why? Twofold. One is there are lots of supplements. Number one, if you're not going to go with medicines, there are lots of very effective supplements that can reduce anxiety and increase mood. So that's one thing. Secondly, there's something immeasurable, I like that word, about two people efforting one person's life. And so if you feel like, okay, I've got a team member here, I've got a partner, we're going to make things better. He says that's what's going to happen. Well, it has a self-fulfilling prophecy. But here's the really special sauce. Why do people get anxious and depressed? It's really because they feel lost. Why do they feel lost? They feel lost because they're not in possession of themselves. They don't have self-possession. It's very toxic to try to live your life when you don't know your own story. You haven't really looked at yourself, and people find themselves in foreign lands, if you will, trying to behave like natives. It's anxiety provoking. A good analogy is if you tried to read a book and someone said, listen, read from page 55 to 170 and write the ending. You'd say, well, I don't know. I mean, what happened in the first 55 pages? Don't worry about that. You'd be like, no, I might ruin it. A lot of people live that way day to day. Many, many, many people are not themselves. If you can restore people, and I do, to who they really are, they do super well. It's when people aren't themselves, they took paths that weren't true to them, or they have fears that were implanted in them, or they went through terrible things, and everybody does. I mean, we go through things, right? And those things, because they didn't want to look at them, they concluded self-defeating things about them, and all kinds of resistors were put in the circuitry of their best intentions. We can remove those, really, truly. And it's not a journey of 5 years. It can be a journey of 5 weeks. Maybe it's 2 months or 3. But the bottom line is that I think people think, if I get into this process where somebody's really trying to effort understanding my life story, that must be a 4-day-a-week commitment for 10 years. Like I get on someone's couch. No, what it is it's a commitment to work with a storyteller and get down to the nonfiction version of your story, and you'll be fine. It's when it's fiction that people say, I'm like a stranger in a foreign land. That's anxiety provoking, and it's depressing. Thanks for watching. If you want to get in touch with me, it's easy. Go to keithablow.com. Hit the contact tab, send me an email. I'll email you back that very day, and we'll talk, and we'll figure out how to make you everything you can be.